show. Where we're kicking it and having fun on inspirational radio. We're the talk show. Kicking it and having fun. So turn your radio up.
Hello again, and welcome to another exciting episode of The Re-Up. This episode will focus on many things and will talk about many topics that are near and dear to the hearts of the people. Like him. That's my guy Bacon. He is a scholar and a gentleman, and we couldn't be us without him. So, without further ado, let us meet the fine host of this enjoyable program. We have none other than the lady herself, Lasonia Witt. Put your hands together for her, won't you? Not your breath, your hands, of course. Man, where are you going with this? Okay. Also, none other than the deacon himself, Seaworth. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Deacon Seaworth. Okay. And please help me welcome your friend and mine, the
Nigel.
Bishop. One good leg, of course.
Are you Nigel? What's your name?
I am.
You know,
Do you know me?
I know that's Nigel. I
That's the
Do you
I
voice
know
of
that's
the name.
Nigel. Gotta be Nigel. Sheldon, what you bet if who's gambling? What you think? Is that Nigel?
Welcome to
Do
the
you
show,
know me,
Nigel.
sir? Sir,
Uh,
do you know me?
I've,
Do
I've
you have
heard,
business with me?
I've heard you a couple of times. Yeah.
Have you now?
Yeah, I have. You've been on
Well,
TV,
speak up and make it plain, man.
movies and stuff. Yeah.
Of course. It would be you. You're always on top of things. I love it.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the introduction today.
Keep your wits about you, old chap. Keep your wits about you, of course. That's no pun intended to Lasonia. You guys have a great evening, of course.
Oh man, you done stepped it up, huh? Got Nigel. Was it Nigel
Yeah.
Robinson?
He's
What's your
Yeah,
last
he
name?
not playing.
You from England, ain't it?
he's definitely from over there across the pond, as they would say.
The pond. Okay.
Okay.
What's Nigel's last name? You know?
I believe it's Barker.
Barker.
Barack.
Say it again. Barker.
Barker.
How you spell that? B-A-R-R?
Baraka.
B-A-R-R?
Ah. He puts the R in Barker.
Oh man. Well, welcome back. Welcome to another episode of the Re-Up. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We working on getting a guest up here, but even if we don't get the guest, we're gonna actually talk a little bit about something he's going on. We excited about him because he family, you know. He grew up with you.
He
What's the
did.
matter like?
He did.
He was a young whippersnapper with you, huh?
Oh yeah, man. That's little bro, man. Definitely, always and forever.
Okay, all right. If you're just joining us, we're talking about Norris J. Y'all know we've had him on the show a couple of times. New music. He got some new music coming out, man. I'm super excited about that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's my flavor. You know, when you can do your music with a live band,
Yes,
rap
sir.
with a live, that's special to me. Like
Yeah,
that's what these
I've done
rappers
that
need to
before.
get on. You've done that before? Oh,
On a few occasions. As a
tell
matter
us
of fact.
about that. Yeah, tell us about that, sir.
Well, when I was in college, we did a concert, and they had a few rock bands,
Okay.
and there was this one three-piece band. There was a bass, it was a drums, and the other guy was on like lead guitar, and I liked, their sound, and it was nice and full, even though it was only three instruments. And so, um, I said, hey, I like how y'all can flow and y'all move into different genres, so easily and, fluid. I'd like to, do something with y'all. And they was like, yeah, I say, well, let's just do something impromptu. It's give me a beat and, I'm gonna jump on it. And they did it, man. And we did about probably an 8-minute song, man. I just was, freestyle.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
Okay. No ad libs. Straight freestyle.
Just straight freestyle, just giving them, what I'm saying, some tips and technique cues.
Okay. Okay. Well, I tell you what. Let's kick the show off with a little message from Norris Johnson. All right, and then I'll let you, maybe give us some background or history about Norris and what they can come to expect on this event. Is Sunday, right? Sonya, we were talking through August 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Sunday, August 6th. Yes,
August
sir.
6th, August 6th, everybody is invited. Everybody is invited to the New Music Showcase and Concert with my family. We got Mark Ayers, we got JT Mayberry, we got Lakia Stokes, hosted by my man Stephen Anderson, and my bro DJ Johnny Judah is in the building going on at Live Wix. I really want everybody to pull up. I want to pack it out. We got the dope food truck gonna be there with smoked turkey legs and everything, man. It's gonna be super dope. It don't cost you nothing to get in. Just pull up. August 6th at Live Wix in Arlington, Texas. It's going down. Doors open at 4:30. I want to see you there. I want everybody to pull up and rock out with this new music that we got going on. Everybody's got new music, all the artists. We're going to have a fantastic time. Pull up on us.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I know a
All right.
couple of those guys.
You know a couple of those guys. I
Yeah.
know you do. So you grew up with the DJ though, right? That was
Yeah.
Big Brother.
Yeah. 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 Um.
Oh, it's gonna be lit then, huh? You ready?
Yeah, it's gonna be something to behold.
You ready?
I'm anxious to see what Mr. Mayberry is gonna do.
Mr.
Yes,
Mayberry.
sir.
JT
I always
Mayberry.
like Norris. He always come with it.
You do. You do. Yeah, if you're looking for a show, like first of all, if you're gonna be anywhere in the
Okay.
DFW area,
It seemed like it's
you know,
gonna be nice. So I saw the flyers had a. It looked like some good people.
yeah, if you're gonna be anywhere in the DFW area, you definitely need to come check Norris out. Like I ain't never seen a Norris J show that hasn't delivered. So um, yeah, I'm excited about it. And new music, like I've been looking for that, looking to hear some of that for a while, because I'm a big hip hop fan. And y'all can tell from his voice, like the dude, he talk like real smooth and cool, like he
Yeah,
bringing it to you mellow.
that's true. Come on now.
Love in the basket, joy in the basket.
Come on, let's hear a little bit of what you got, Mister.
Scanning and bagging, scanning and bagging, scanning and bagging.
Oh Lord, where we scanning and bagging, man.
Joy in the basket,
He
love in
can't
the
do it.
basket.
Oh man. Well, definitely, like I said, make sure y'all make plans. If you're here in the DFW area, go check out Norris this weekend. We're gonna be there. We're gonna be in the house. Dion, you gonna be there in the house, right? Maybe.
I want to say yes.
If he is, he's gonna get up there and try to grab the mic. I'm sure.
Yeah, there you go. He the surprise
Woo!
guest. He don't want nobody to know. So he'd be like, maybe y'all, just maybe I might be there. You might see a little something. Maybe, maybe, maybe.
Maybe not. We don't
That's how the
know.
superstars.
Take it from the top. You're
That's
gonna
how
be
the
like,
superstars
take
do.
it from the top.
Hmm.
Scanning the basket.
You ain't heard no song?
I have. I haven't heard the rendition by you though.
Oh yeah, no. You know,
Yeah, this that new.
So, Dion, last week, we missed you. And
Yeah.
last week we
Yeah.
did an update. We had to do an update to, kind of stay up on the relevant news. Carly Russell, her lawyer, came out with a letter, you know, telling us that she made up her incident. They arrested her actually. She turned herself in. So just wanted to give you an opportunity. Me
Man,
and
listen.
Lasagna talked a little bit about
I'm
that.
so ashamed right now, man.
Uh-oh.
I'm so ashamed, man. I mean, you know, it's one thing to be known for different things, but for her and Juicy Smollett, to get out here and get
Everybody.
these cameras in their faces and start telling these outlandish lies. It's just I can't do this, man. I'm talking about outlandish. Outlandish. We didn't even ask them for these lies, and they got on these cameras and told these lies and had people all in the uproar. Oh my God! Oh, this is so horrible and blah blah blah. And then the whole while, it's a big old hoax. I'm disgusted, man.
Now she never said she wasn't on camera saying she was missing, right? She just called in 911, and then when she showed up at home 2 days later, like she never. They just put the report out she was missing, right? She never said she was missing. She just called 911. Boom, family heard her scream, and then she showed up 2 days later. Is
She
that
never got
is
on
that the
camera
story?
saying she was missing.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking. I didn't. That's what I'm asking.
I
What the story is, she called and then showed up. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's the story that they saying, but I mean, somebody got that footage of her lying and saying, that they had her.
Lying and saying that she.
I can't. I'm so disgusted, man. Her and Juicy.
His
But
name
now he
is.
said something happened to him. She never said. She just showed up. Like, okay.
She said. I mean, apparently they took her statement when she showed up at the house. What can and see?
She
That's what I
did. She
tried to
did.
tell
She did
y'all.
make a statement, Lasagna. Like they did.
That's
Uh-huh.
what I'm trying to
Man,
tell y'all.
but she didn't go into any detail because she said that she was
Right.
too traumatized with it.
Is she when she
Hold
ended
on
up
a
back at
second.
home?
Hold on a second. Like in the background, I'm playing the video from
Right. Right.
YouTube. Do y'all realize that was her mugshot picture though? She was smiling on her mugshot.
Now that's after they arrested her after the fact, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's when they. So this is what I thought about with that. Like, because you touched on this a little bit. Like, irregardless of what happened with this, um, the young lady evidently needs something. She's crying for help, one way or the other. You know what I mean? Like I don't know nobody that's that's really all there that's smiling doing a mugshot. Like that's not a situation where you happy. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So that just tells me that there's something extra going on with that. Because Lasagna, you want to reiterate what your point was from last week too?
I don't know because what I was telling you when I see stuff, I take mainstream news with a grain of salt. They tell you what they want you to know, and like I was telling Sheldon last week, I don't know if this is the case or not, but if you run into something, a system that's bigger than you have to say whatever they tell you to say. And sometimes stuff get blown up, and then you have to go with whatever they tell you because of whatever else you ran into. And sometimes you may have to go to the Hall of Shame until you die. You can't never reveal what really happened or tell the truth because I was just telling Shelton, I've been in a case where I know the person, grew up with the person. I saw what happened, know what happened, and they wrote their story, had the news, and when they went to court, the lawyer said, hey, now let me tell you something. If you come out with the truth and you say this going to have repercussions because of the system that you're in. So we're going to have to leave that out And it was a big fiasco, but all the reports, everything they wrote up, it was nothing that happened because I was there. I saw what happened. Like I lived there. We're in the same city. Like I grew up with them. And I was like, man, so I don't know. I don't know about her, but you say what they tell you to say and you get the report, you be like, hey, you done ran into some, the people praying, we done got you back. Hey, you made this up. I don't care what, boom, 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 boom. I'm not saying that happened with her, but I've seen it before. And the person I know, they couldn't say nothing. I was like, look at this report, look at the news, look what they said. And I feel like with mainstream news, they tell you what they want you to believe. Whatever I need you to believe, that's the way I'm going to spin it. And that's what it is. It don't matter if it's the truth or not. I just need you to believe it and leave it alone. And so the person I know, they couldn't say nothing about it, couldn't make no news statements, couldn't do nothing, couldn't, whatever y'all thought was whatever y'all thought. And whatever was out there was just out there. But as the family, we just looked like, wow, just knowing stuff. So I don't know. I take unless is what I know and what I see, I just take it with a grain of salt because I've been in situations where I know and nothing they said on the news was nothing that really happened. And like I said, I don't know if that's the case with her, but I know you can't jump on the bandwagon too fast because sometimes you run into stuff and they be like, no, this is what happened. And this is what you're going to say what happened. And you're going to stick to that story because you don't have enough support, enough people behind you. You don't have enough of anything to not say this is what happened and not have repercussions. And it's like, so you shut your mouth, you get that lawyer. He said whatever you tell him to say. We was in court. We all sat there. He said, now, if you bring this up, I'm telling you what's going to happen. So you don't mess with it. You go home and everybody look and you don't say nothing about that. That's over now. Then the news write whatever they write, and it is the way they say it, and you have to bear the shame, either till you die or you get enough money and run in other systems that can combat it. But other than that, you be like, okay, that's what happened. That's what they say. Okay.
Right.
Mainstream news, I just think that they do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say, and make you believe the way you want to believe it. And it happened a couple of times to a couple other people I know. So I take it with a grain of salt. I'd be like, it could have been that hoax, and it may not have been a hoax. She may have ran into a system, and when they got her back, hey, listen to us. Too much pressure, too much publicity. This what happened. You better say it, and we're going to get this lawyer. You write this statement. This what happened. You understand? Okay, that's what happened. And the family grin and bear it. You get arrested. You do whatever. So
Well,
I don't know.
I think with this
Like I'm saying, I
situation,
don't know.
yeah, I think with this situation, from the start, there's been a lot of gaps with it, right?
Mhm.
And then even the responses to it, like to come out of the hospital, go have a birthday party or whatever in
Mhm.
Atlanta, which again is documented or seen. Like either you have like a real strong case of the Stockholm syndrome here or whatever. Basically, I know what we ended up with last week is no matter what, it's not something. I think my frustration with it is by it coming out as particular false news is to try to take away from the seriousness of human trafficking. Like that
Mhm.
really is going on. So whether or
Mhm.
not she made this up again for attention, and that's what I would say. I'm not a proponent for Dion's thing about attention from her boyfriend or attention from like I don't think you need to go through all of that to cheat. Like there's some easier ways, and from what I hear, women are like really awesome at doing that type of stuff anyway. So they don't need no extravagant trauma to do that. But um, what I do see, and I really I try to study people. I see a person that looks like they are thriving for attention, like they want someone to see them like forever. Like I really feel like when it's all said and done and when the story does come out, it's gonna be some like maybe she wanted attention from her boyfriend. Like her boyfriend was one of the people that um was a was really a big proponent in helping to pull people together to look for her and things like that. Um, and from what I'm hearing is he was kind of like on his way out the door type situation. Um, so maybe it was something to really, bring him back in the door or something like that, or you know, um, pull at his heartstrings. But even that's so extreme, you know. But what I think my disappointment is regardless, is I think some people are going to take this situation and use it to belittle a very important situation, which is human trafficking, and which does happen on a really large scale and is a very serious thing. And definitely want to remind our audience not to, be vigilant on those type of things. Keep your eyes open and
Definitely.
definitely look for signs and try to protect yourself and not put yourself in certain situations. And then again, and what I would say to anybody who might be striving or looking for attention, like, please, like, that's not something like I don't appreciate when people look at do something really um, serious to try to pull a point. Jesse Smollett, we keep bringing him up. Racism is a real thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we didn't need to set up something um, to prove that point in Chicago. You know what I mean? Like, um, that was just definitely something that didn't need to happen. And if anything, it puts back the cause that we're fighting for. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Definitely. Hmm.
Like when we do things that contradict or go against what we're fighting for or what the movement might be for, it's not a good thing. So
No.
um, so definitely still praying for Carly, regardless, of the situation, because I really think there's something there with, no matter what. Um, Her family, and then again, just to plead to make sure that we are taking things like that very seriously and not letting up on the gas of at least making sure people are aware and people know are doing things to help overcome a major thing. It's like a couple of $1 billion industry across the world right now, so real big.
Huge. Hmm.
Yeah. So, a couple of other just like quick news stories. Me and Dion, we were just discussing the Earl Spence fight. Now, I'll let you get some highlights on that, man, because you originally from Dallas, so I know you got that DFW area, so you got a little leg in the game when it comes to Earl Spence. Like that was.
I mean, given his record, given the style he fights with, given all the things that made him a great champion, he didn't bring none of those things with him on Saturday. Like, he didn't bring any of those things. You know what he brought with him?
What he bring with him, man?
Trash. He got in the ring like he had been training himself for this fight. Yeah, I work on some feedback. I work on this. I work on. No, you needed to have had a professional trainer to get you ready for this fight. You look like you trained yourself, and thus you got yourself handed to you. You got your hind parts handed to you.
Mm.
I expected it to go to like a decision at the very least, but you got knocked out.
Mm-mm. And Saya, I'm assuming you didn't see the fight this weekend, right?
No, I didn't see the fight. That's why I'm looking at the footage now.
You're looking
I
at
didn't
some
see
of
the fight.
the
Yeah,
highlights.
that's for
Yeah,
y'all.
yeah. Earl, if you didn't know,
Hmm.
Earl, the one over there with the red shorts on right now. Now, Dion,
Uh huh.
let me ask you
I could
this.
tell he the one went down. Yeah, he the one went down.
Right, a
Yeah,
down and down and down.
yeah. Oh, this is nasty. Yeah. When you see sweat pop off somebody's head,
Ooh.
like, um, but here's the thing that I will ask you about Dion, because again, I know you follow it probably a little bit more closer to me. So he was in a really, really bad car accident, not too long
Yeah,
ago, like what, 2 years ago, maybe?
yeah.
Yeah, and you know they've been interviewing certain doctors and I will tell you this: when he was walking to the room or walking to the ring, I was questioning his readiness for this fight. Like it was something in his eyes that didn't really look quite like
Like,
I'm about to come in here and throw these hands. Now I assumed other things, maybe like it, you know, smoking a little bit or something like that to kind of take the nerves off or whatever. Because the odds was just
they wasn't right.
it
They
was
wasn't right,
glazed.
Sheldon. Huh?
Yeah, and so
Yeah, Sheldon said, something ain't right.
so I mean, and I made the comment when I saw him coming to the ring. I was like, man, I don't. He don't look right to me. And so there's doctors now, and again, I keep telling people I don't really subscribe to some of the conspiracy theories, but there's doctors saying that he had like some signs of like someone that had you know some things happening.
Brain trauma.
Yeah, some brain trauma, that some neuropathy or whatever they were calling it, that probably should not have been in a fight with a skilled thing. Because here's the thing about him: he's had a couple of fights since his accident, but
Accident.
nobody to the level of Terrence Crawford. Would you agree,
Okay.
Dion?
Okay.
Um, I guess I didn't know Terrence Crawford's level. I did. To me, he didn't seem like that. You know, that much of a fighter. He didn't really seem that capable because a lot of the other big name fighters that are in their weight class was like, I don't really. I want to fight them or I want to fight him. Somebody else. His name wasn't on people's lips like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't really consider him top tier like that. You feel me?
Well, could it have been because he was in a lower division? Like he's the first boxer now to ever win, um, be a unanimous belt holder in two different divisions. So I know he was in the lower division, kind of dominating. That's where he got a lot of his wins. He's only had like 7 fights in the in the same division that Earl Spence is in. Um, but from what I'm hearing, and again, I didn't keep up with him. I really, if I'm just transparent, I haven't been keeping up with boxing. I've been more on the UFC side of things, because UFC's been a little bit more interesting to me. But this fight definitely grabbed my attention. One, because of Earl Spence, and then I heard a lot of good things about Terrence Crawford. And now, if I didn't know, I done went back and watched some of Terrence Crawford's fights and he was that guy. He didn't really do much that he didn't do in this fight. I just think we all would have assumed that Earl Spence was at a level to where he'd be able to counteract some of that or whatever.
Yeah.
But do you think there's any possibility that there's some lingering effects from that? Because Lasagna, I don't know if you know, but he was like I think going 100, like over 100,
100
and the
plus.
car flipped like several times. I think he got even thrown out of the vehicle. So we talking about somebody who's actually lucky to be alive, like blessed to be alive. Ended up taking like a year or so away from boxing, and he came back and like I said, the quality of I saw his other few fights with other fighters, they weren't at the same level as Mr. Crawford did. I'm gonna call him Mr. Crawford because he seemed like he got them hands like that.
Okay. Now, how many times you say he got thrown? How many times he rode in the car?
Several times.
I,
Like there's a video out where you can.
What you say he got rolled in the car? How many times? Oh, really?
Yeah. There's a video out where it looks pretty bad. Like you would really be surprised someone came out of that.
the car was rolling on the ground and it flipped up in the air and was flipping in the air. So it was, I don't know, ain't no telling how many
Oh, wow.
rolled over. It was going
And then
over
he
and
got
over.
threw out the car?
Yes.
He got threw out?
Yes.
Oh, man, he is blessed to be alive,
Yeah.
especially while it's flipping like that.
Yeah.
Because I got cousins I lost in an accident like that. Like, they got thrown out and lost their lives. So that's serious. That's all right. The boy lived. Yeah, so he might do have something, being an accident of that capacity
Listen,
flipping like that
if he didn't
and
have
getting
any
thrown out.
brain issues or stuff before, he got some now because he got his
Oh,
eggs
after that
scrambled.
fight.
Yeah.
Mm,
He got his eggs scrambled.
Yeah.
That
also,
head was
he might
going
have
like
some
this the
problems
whole
now.
night.
Yeah.
Mm.
It
He probably
was
was reminding him of that accident. That's probably what that was. What?
it was tough. It was definitely tough. But
Mm,
so
He said,
again, I don't know. For our listeners, let us know what you think. Was there should he maybe have been fighting someone of that caliber? Maybe, I don't know. And again, it's kind of hard to say because like if that's your dream, that's your passion. Earl Spence definitely is a gifted boxer, right? And even losing to Terrence Crawford, that don't take anything away from what he's been able to do. He was 28 and
mhm,
0, I think, before that fight. Was it 28 and 0? I think it was 28 and 0.
mhm.
Um, now,
Wow.
now Terrence Crawford was 39 and 0, something like that. So I know he's like 40 and 0 at this
Okay.
time. So but again, he was fighting at a lower weight, level
Hmm.
than Earl Spence, and so they just kind of, they met. And this is, Dion, you looked at me funny when I told you I was following the UFC a lot more, but in boxing, if I'm being real, the days of like, Mayweather and Pacquiao and stuff, there's not a lot of people fighting each other in their prime. You know what I mean? Like two prime. And I think that's what was such a draw for this one. Like both of these fighters, um, you know, are at pretty much the peak of their career. I think with boxing, and so it's rare that we really get to see that happen. Normally, somebody on a downslide, they've been whipping on people for some years, and and I think people was thinking maybe Terrence Crawford because Terrence Crawford is older than Earl Spence, right?
I don't know.
So maybe they were thinking, maybe Terrence was on his way down. It looked like he's still on his way up.
Hmm.
Yeah, but definitely prayers for the young man. I hope the people in his corner help him make the right decisions going forward.
I hope he get a real trainer.
You think his trainer was
I think he trained himself.
Dang, why do you think that, man?
The results speak for themselves. He got knocked around in there. I'm talking about knocked around.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Um, so something else that came up right before we got on this show this week, and this is so weird, but it takes me definitely to Bible because I've never, never practically, heard of this, but I saw an article about leprosy, uptick in leprosy in Florida. What's y'all thoughts on that? Leprosy, like the leprosy, like Jesus when he held the leopard man, and back in the day they wouldn't let them, they couldn't be around people when you had leprosy because they felt like it was. I'm assuming it's very contagious, huh?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that?
Did Moses have they like you know God was like suppressing his leprosy?
Was it Moses?
I thought it was. He was like, put your hand in there. And he put his hand inside his cloak and he put it out and it was leopard. And then he said, put it back in again and take it out. And it wasn't. It was good.
That
Wasn't
happened.
that him?
Hmm. Yeah, that's in the
That
Bible.
was Moses, though.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was
Hmm.
Moses. I'm gonna have to go back and read that
Because remember, he
again.
did the trick too. He said, "Throw down your stick," and then it turned into lake. Pick it back up. He was showing him that when the enchant and they got their stuff. Go say, I got some big and better. I can compete with the best of them. They doing their stuff, and you got your stuff. Throw your rod down. Put your hand in your coat. It's clear. Put your hand back in your coat. Leprosy. Put your hand back. Clear. So he was ready. He said, I got some of them too. You gonna be ready, son. Don't worry about that. You ready. Throw that snake down. Then they threw their rod out. We could do that too. But his snake ate up all they snakes. Then he grabbed the tail and came back into a rod. I'm gonna tell you the truth. God can't use me like that, because as soon as mine turned into a snake, I'm gone. So I don't even know who picked up the stick. I don't know who ate what snake, because I wasn't even there to see what else happened. I'm just gone. As soon as I throwed it down, the snake came. I'm gone. Where them woods at? She done left the Bible story. She done went to the woods. It's just over. I'm
You in
being
the
real now.
wilderness, huh?
I won't even know my snake ate up the other snakes. I won't even know. He talking about pick it back up by the tail. See, I'm
What?
gone. I'm gone. I'm
So it
gone.
says,
I was like, oh,
it
shoot,
says
I messed
here
that
that
story
You
up.
know you can't
Okay,
count.
help me, Father. Let's try this again.
leprosy is also called the Hansen's disease. Is an infection caused by slow growing bacteria called I'm not even gonna
Mm-hmm.
Mycobacterium leprae. It can affect the nerve, skin, eyes, and lining of the nose, nasal mucosa. With early diagnosis, with early diagnosis treatment, the disease can be cured. So, I'm sure back in the day, outside of Jesus and miracles and prayer, and what we're talking about now with Moses, they didn't have a cure for it. But we got one for it now. Lasan, you want to share with them what you said in the green room when I brought this up
What I
about Florida?
say in the green room when you brought this, I said all day. They done brought the Bible day disease. I said, oh, Sean, we better get to praying. I said, they done brought the
The
leprosy
Bible day.
back. I said, Lord have mercy. We got the Bible day disease. I said, y'all, we got to get ourselves together, because
Mm-hmm.
they might
Yeah, COVID was
be bringing back
enough.
some of the Bible day judgment.
Yeah, COVID was enough, wasn't it?
Got the leprosy back. I say this going down. The signs of the time is here. You might not be paying attention, but they right here. The handwriting is all over the wall.
It is.
Yeah,
It
Dion.
is. And
Yeah, tell what's your take, Dion? What you feeling?
It's bad business. I mean, but we've had like stuff crazy like this throughout the years. That whole Ebola outbreak, and then that anthrax, and just on and on and on. Stuff that can
I
really
remember
get
that.
after you.
Hmm.
Um, but man, leprosy. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
old. That's Old Testament. That's pre-Jesus.
it's pre Jesus,
Pre-Jesus. You heard me?
before Christ.
Yeah, BC.
That's BC, huh?
Straight BC up in this mug, man.
yes, sir.
Golly.
Yeah, that's what grabbed my attention. I was like, leprosy? Like, people still? Like, I thought maybe we had, one of them shots we take as a kid. You know how you take the little shots? I thought that, like, kind of pushed a
Yeah,
lot of them
that's
type
why I
of.
said we get that Old Testament in here. We're gonna bring back
Yeah.
that Old Testament.
I mean,
Mm-mm.
what's next? Like smallpox?
Yeah, we getting serious.
Now, smallpox had to be after Jesus, though, right? I didn't hear
I
about
think
that
so.
until to like the
But it's old. It's
Hmm.
old in the mud.
Inquisition. Yeah,
People ain't
but
been running around with smallpox in a long time though.
leprosy sound like the original disease
Oh yeah.
to me. Like when somebody say leprosy,
A leprosy
Yeah,
outbreak would
because
take a
you
lot
don't
of
see
people
it so
out. Because you
regular.
think about
I even wonder
how
how they diagnosed it as leprosy.
I
it's
don't
probably
know.
easy to see.
I don't know. Just looking at the article, they just said they have a number of cases there in Florida. Um, Dion was saying something about the water.
Yeah, it's swampy out there, man. That all that bacteria, you read the definition, and bacteria was in there. I'm telling you, man, when you is around a lot of nasty stuff, that's where leprosy came from. In back in the Old Testament, they was calling them people unclean. You remember?
hmm They
Yeah,
were.
no, don't mess with them. Don't they unclean? They unclean, and they was trying to separate them. They had to live outside the city in them colonies. Everybody else lived in the city, and they lived outside in them colonies, the leper colonies, because they was unclean. They was out there with that stagnant water and all that stuff. I'm telling you, man, that leprosy comes from a lot of like nasty conditions. In Florida, they got all them swamps and all that bacteria and nasty conditions and all that inbreeding and incest and all that stuff. You know what
Oh
I'm saying?
Lord.
They do a lot in Florida. They do a lot.
Oh
They
Lord.
do a lot. You ever watch that show Swamp People?
Yeah. Ain't
They be
that
catching them gators.
that's not in Louisiana? That's in Florida?
It's in both, ain't it?
Oh, I don't know. The Everglades go pretty far.
Well, listen, I'm gonna
Cause
tell you what.
I'm gonna tell you about that beach water. That beach water is clear. I like that beach water in Florida.
Well, which side you talking about on though? Because one side is clear and one side it is not.
That Fort Lauderdale, well, yeah, the Gulf probably not. I ain't never been over there before. But at Fort
So
Lauderdale in Miami, that water,
yeah, that's on the other side.
yeah,
That's on the outside. Yeah,
uh,
that water is clean and clear. But that water on the inside, yeah, nah, brother.
they're
Nah,
surprised with
brother.
that. The Everglades
Nah,
water.
nah, don't do it. Don't do it.
But a lot of people would say, Sonya, are you there still? Screen look a little frozen.
Son, you free Rosen?
Free Rosen. She might be gone. Um, but to Sonya's point, to your point, in the Bible when it talks about like unclean thing, people used to tie that to like a spiritual thing, like they had leprosy because of their sin, or because not only because of the uncleanliness of whatever they were dealing with in their skin, but also in their spirit. So,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um, we have been talking a lot about Florida with a lot of different things when it comes to like their leadership and stuff like that. Um, a lot of people are boycotting Florida where they don't even want, suggesting that definitely people of color should kind of stray away from there. Um, so, I don't know. I was kind of curious. It does seem a little awkward that we talking about leprosy in 2023. Uh, never saw that one coming. So
There's too much going on, man.
too
It's
much
getting
going on.
scary out here.
It is. So last kind of current event thing, man. I didn't get to talk to y'all about this in the green room, but it did come up. Lizzo, and I know y'all familiar with Lizzo, is getting sued by her dancers. Some of her dancers for it, and this is I don't know how true this is. I can't wait till like the actual case comes out or whatever. But for body shaming, and the reason why I think it's so surprising to everybody is because that's the platform that Lizzo uses to to be her, but her dancers are accusing her of doing some things, making them dance naked and go to like new brothels and stuff like that, and then body shaming them, telling them they gain weight or they're doing different things or whatever. So um, I actually even saw a video pop up on my screen with Ruslan where he was I think addressing kind of maybe the hypocrisy of it. I'm not gonna really talk about it yet until I get more details on it, because again, it's a case. Somebody can accuse you of doing anything these days. But
That's disgusting, man.
you think that's disgusting?
Yeah, man. As far as she done went to try to get, what I'm saying, big people, they rights and everything, like not their rights, but their recognition and fair treatment and stuff like that, man. It's just you can't really do your good is always evil spoke of, man. It's just it's sad, man. You know what I'm saying? When you out here trying to do something positive to help people and change lives, somebody always want to pull you down.
Mm.
They always want to pull you down.
So I know you had dropped off for a second. Let me catch you up real quick. There was one last article that I came across. Lizzo, the singer. Are you familiar with her?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
yeah, definitely. She got some song. You beautiful. You one. Yeah, I know she is.
Yeah.
I've seen her a
So
couple
I
times.
came across an article. It's very, very interesting. Where she's actually getting sued,
Oh,
primarily for body shaming some of her dancers. And like I was telling Dion, like her platform and what she's kind of based a lot of her success on, and what Dion was just saying is really been based off her, you know, um, setting a standard that someone shouldn't be talked about or bullied because of their weight and size or whatever. And so, um,
yeah, I thought she was for. That seemed like an oxymoron because it seemed like she got everybody on board, not mistreating people because they were larger size or whatever, and making a platform for them and really coming out. So that's interesting that she being sued for the thing that she's known for being a proponent and a supporter of. You know what I mean?
right,
Embracing yourself, embrace. That is interesting. I hadn't heard that.
yeah.
So is she shaming them because of on one extreme or the other, like something different from her? Like, did they give her any details? Like, is they too little, too big? And like, did they say the details?
The only thing you could that's out right now for you to see is the court documents of what the accusers are accusing her of. There hasn't
Okay,
been any court case. There hasn't been any details, and that's why I'm
okay,
reserving, any type of comments about the situation. So, again, in the details, and there's other stuff like they're claiming sexual harassment, that like she's
oh,
made them dance in the nude and dancing, go to different places that have people dancing in the nude and doing stuff
oh,
that
okay,
that feels like that's uncomfortable. Now, the one thing that I did see in the article that kind of grabbed my attention, the court cases against Lizzo and her dance. I guess who's the person that teaches the dances, the choreographer?
Choreography.
Yeah. Um, and against her, but the things that are against her are her. They're saying that she was pushing her Christianity on the people. So maybe, and again, I just read this right before we got on the show. Something about them maybe being LGBTQ, and you know, this choreographer basically, explaining to them about how marriage and men and women are, what God intended type situation. But they didn't really go too much in detail with that portion of it. But that's also
mhm,
in the court, document as well, because they're charging or suing both Lizzo and the choreographer. But both of those are so
okay,
extreme. I would,
mhm.
if the choreographer is a Christian, I'm sure she wouldn't be down with them having to dance in the nude or go, um, see some other people dance in the nude and stuff like that. So that part was just really kind of conflicting to me. So I don't know if that was two separate situations
Okay,
or what. And that's why, again, I don't want to talk too much about it until I know all, but or I got more details with it. But I did think it was very interesting. Um, and Dion, I guess you were alluding to this, that this is a thing that Lizzo is known for. Um, and and I don't know her story. Sonya, maybe you know a
mhm.
little bit more about her story. Was she bullied growing up because of her size or her weight or whatever? Um, which is why she had such a passion for it, or what? Um, but there is, situations that I hear mentally where people who are bullied in a certain thing do bully other people in that way. If that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Right, I get you.
So
So you're trying to make sure, yeah, just trying to see if that's one of these cases, or we just don't know. I get you.
Yeah, we don't know. It came up.
That we
Again,
just
I
don't.
think one of the
Mhm.
most interesting parts of it, the two interesting parts was, again, this is what Lizzo usually stands for. For her to be sued for that is different. And then
Mhm.
again, if the choreographer is a Christian, and it was basically worded as pushing her Christian beliefs on the dancers. Um, so that's why, only way that can happens if there was two separate things. But I don't know. Again, if you have both of them tied up in the same case, it don't seem like it was.
Right. I
It just
got you.
seemed like going back to the Carly Russell thing, like some gaps in there.
I
There's,
got
there's
you.
something ain't really connecting for me there. But just
I
wanted
got
to hear
you.
y'all thoughts.
Mhm. So with the lawsuit, we got too many gaps. She's standing for something, but she's being sued for the very thing she stands for. And then with the
Yeah.
choreographer, that may be a total different case because the choreographer must be a Christian. So, well, we don't even know that, but they're saying pushing Christian values. So the choreographer's being sued. Is that what I'm hearing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, both
Okay,
of them
I got you.
are being sued. Um, Let me see. In this article, it actually is from ABC News, right? Um, and what what the case says is sexual, religious, and racial harassment. It's a
Mm,
disability discrimination and assault and false imprisonment um,
mm.
suit.
Oh, it's
And
good. Oh, that's serious.
yeah, and okay, and the dancers. So Quigley is the choreographer, right? And the
Uh-huh.
dancers accuse Quigley of preaching Christianity against premarital sex in the workplace while
Mm-hmm.
oversharing her masturbatory habits in life with her husband, according to the press release. So
Mm.
just a lot going on there.
Yeah, it's
Um,
a lot going on. It's a lot going on.
whole lot going on there. But
Yeah, that's
what
a
I
lot.
will say
Mhm.
to kind of tie all this together, the sign you said is like a sign of the times. It's just a lot of confusion going on. Um, Again, this lawsuit, just reading it sounds very confusing, but um, it's not uncommon to what we're dealing with today. Our ex president on
Yeah.
this very day, this very week, has been brought up on more charges now for the January 6th insurrection. And Dion, I know in the green room you asked when he actually gonna go to court. I think it's March is when this is scheduled. They've already assigned a judge.
Next year,
I think it is. Yeah, yeah, March next year. What, man? That's for this case. That's for this case. Might be
what
some
about the other indictments, the fake indictments?
the fake indictments.
Obviously,
They all fake.
you've never seen nobody that looks like us get indicted and not, well, John Wiley Price, but that's different. Anywho, uh, nobody on a regular basis gets indicted and don't have no court case or some jail time or something.
Cause we don't have millions of dollars, man.
How you not going to court and you done been indicted? I say, how you not going to court and you done been indicted?
Now I'm gonna
Not
challenge
on.
you on this. R. Kelly stayed out of court for a while.
They didn't really have no case, and they really, when they brought the final case to court, they still made up some charges to get him on because they told us that he was, what I'm saying, being tried for the sex trafficking and false imprisonment and all that stuff. But if you go back and look at his actual court documents, that wasn't what he was charged with or convicted of. So what are we talking about here? What are we really doing? It took you all that time to do that, and that's the case you bought. Come on now, they trying to fool us. They trying to fool us, and I'm not going for it.
It had something to do with crossing the lines, right? Crossing the state lines.
He didn't though. How you crossing the state lines with the women and you locking them up in your house?
Well, that's the case though.
That's what I'm saying, Sheldon. They can't be crossing the state lines and locked up at his house at the same time. They can't be.
Hey, we're gonna have to do another show on that one, man.
Listen,
Yeah, we gotta
we're
get
gonna
some
have
facts
to.
straight on this.
Free chaos,
Because
man.
Because I mean, I think it was hard for them to do anything sex trafficking because the women weren't the ones accusing him of sex
no, they weren't.
trafficking. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Um, but this is what I think Lasagna was alluding to earlier. Well, not per se, but these young women were kind of mentored into the lifestyle that they were in now. You know, kind of like how a pimp do.
Mhm. You get
I'm,
them
I'm
young, and then you keep them,
You
and then
get
you
them
famous.
young,
You
you
be
get
like,
them in the
yeah,
stable, you train them in the way you want them to go, and you keep them in that.
you want them to go. That's the truth. When you got enough position, people
You
look up
looked
to
at
you
me
like
like,
you
why are
like,
you using
woo.
Bible to describe people? It's a principle, man. It's a principle.
Well, he was training them
sir,
young.
sir,
It's a
sir. Please press the
principle.
button. Press the button. We're done here. We're done.
It's a
This is beyond
principle.
ridiculous.
Okay.
It's a principle, man. Like you try. That's what he did.
Pimping is not a Bible principle. It's not a biblical principle.
No, I'm talking about training them up in the way that they would go. Like kids, you can mold their minds if you get them too young and
Uh-huh.
introduce them to stuff
That's true.
that they don't need to be introduced into. Which is why
Yeah,
all of these different things being taught in school, and there's a fight for that. You know,
it
like
is.
we talked about last week. Florida don't want us to teach the real about racism and slavery and stuff like that.
True.
LGBTQ people trying to get the kids while they're young. Why? Because if
Yeah.
you touch that mind is still moldable right now. Real moldable. You
Yep.
get them around 25, 26, and they just act like Dion and just, hey.
They, they still they mind. Listen, they mind still moldable at that age. I'm telling you, some of these 25, 26, 27-year old people that you can really that. Okay, but that's
It
another.
should,
That's
it
another.
should have been hard. It should be harder though, because you remember going back to R. Kelly, there was like a 30-year-old lady that was claiming that she was like she didn't know how to leave. Like what?
Don't know how long she been there. Was she there since she was 10?
No,
I don't know.
no,
No,
she
she
didn't
wasn't.
go there until she was like 30. She said she was like 30 years old or
So
whatever.
what?
But and again,
Oh,
I ain't
okay.
taking that from her. It was just I think it's people different mentality. But
Mhm.
kids are definitely moldable. When you
Yeah,
get to
definitely.
an adult age, and I do know, like some people in adult age, they still struggle with stuff from their childhood. They struggle with stuff from all over. So I get age is not a number, but as an adult, you have the ability to try to help yourself break out of some of those things. That's what
Right.
that's what having Jesus in your life does. I'll leave it at that. Like God helps you kind of work through some of them traumas that been holding you back
It's
from a
true.
long time back. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Had you
It's true.
thinking one way, and he give you some revelation about another way. Try 'em. That's what I say. Try 'em.
Mm-hmm.
Try Jesus, not Dion.
Not me.
Yeah. Yeah, don't do that.
Not me. Not me. Mm-mm.
Try Jesus, not me.
Mm-mm.
All right. Well, this was just an informative show. I'm gonna circle back to Norris J. If you're in the DFW area, be sure to go check it out. The concert is free. Go to his page. I'm gonna put his link
Mm-hmm.
in the bio. information, all that kind of stuff. And we hope to see y'all there because we're gonna be there. We're gonna have a good
Already.
time in the Lord with Norris J.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the talk show. Where we're kicking it and having fun on inspirational radio. We the talk show.